Hey everybody, this is a review for the Casio G-Shock Mudman. This may be an older generation, not the latest, but it looks good. At least to me it looks good. First, let me apologize. I actually did a different review video earlier this month at the Caribbean when I was on vacation, and that's actually one of the reasons why I got this watch. I did a review, but for some reason the video went missing from memory card, so unfortunately I gotta redo it again under like yellow lights with like sunburned, peeling skin, which is kind of nasty. Sorry about that. Anyways, back to this watch. So before my vacation, I really want to get a watch I can just beat up and not as formal. The other watch I have is the Psycho, which you can find on a different review. Anyways, I want a watch I can go snorkeling in, so the G-Shock is a natural choice. And within G-Shock, there's so many different ones. One of my major concerns is that the G-Shock are huge. This one, the case is 46 millimeter. Sorry, I mixed it up. Centimeter would be huge. Yeah, 46 millimeter case. And I was worried that it would be too big because once again I have thin wrist. I think the circumference or diameter of my wrist is actually 17.5 cm. For reference, let's see what I have here. This is a chapstick. So as you can see, pretty thin wrist. And this watch right here is a 36 millimeter casing versus this one I believe is a 46. And G-Shock's supposed to be big. I was worried that it may be too big. But after I get it, I put on there, I think it's like, it's actually a pretty good fit, you know? So, you pull it back a little bit so you can get a better view of how the G-Shock Mudman looks on a guy with thin wrist. And it's actually not bad at all. I think it actually fit pretty well, if I may say so myself. So a little bit more about this watch. This Mudman's older generation one. The new one has all kinds of bells and whistles, and honestly I won't use it, and I kind of like the older generation's look, so I went ahead and got this one. And this one is actually the military spec one. You notice that everything's blacked out, even the watch face. I have the reverse look where it's like black background and white text. And the idea is that like service member from like maybe special ops or use something like this, a watch like this. And of course I'm not in the military, but I just really like the look, so I went ahead and got this one instead. I believe it also comes in army green and navy blue, if I remember right. Maybe there's a desert brown too, not too sure. But so continuing on with this watch, one of the complaints is that some of the buttons are really hard to push. Now, they are a little bit more harder to push compared to like other watch because everything's completely sealed, being called a Mudman. The idea is that you can just go into mud and go into a different environment and it won't affect the performance of the watch. So buttons are a little bit harder to push, yes. But is it a deal breaker? I don't think so, because honestly I don't use these functions at all. Maybe the light up function, stopwatch from time to time. But I mainly got this watch because I want a watch I can beat up and not afraid of getting scratched. And it looks kind of sporty, well, really sporty. So if your main purpose for this watch is functionality, you may want to research a little bit and maybe even try out the actual watch in the store to see if this bothers you. I can see how this can become a little bit annoying, like long term. If you have to use, like, you have to keep pressing those buttons and it's hard to push. Now moving on to the band. The band to me is really comfortable, really generous length. With my thin wrist, I got this little bit sticking out. Some people with even thinner wrist than me say that usually they cut off the end and maybe melt it a little bit so it's smooth. But for me, I want to keep it like as original as possible in case I'll sell it or whatever. Although honestly I don't think I will, because I really like this watch. Something that I thought was pretty cool. So on the back of the watch, you notice there's a little raised bevels, and then there's little tiny rubber nubs. Now some people love it, some people hate it. Personally, I love it. These kind of keep the watch in place, okay, because you got little tracks on here, and also it kind of lift the back of the watch off your wrist, right? So the idea is that air can move through, so kind of your wrist doesn't get as hot. And also, if you do happen to go into mud and stuff like that, the watch will not stick to your wrist, but it'll kind of like float up a little bit. There's a little gap in the middle. I went into the water, I went into sand and stuff like that. I didn't really go into mud on any condition like that during the vacation. And so far I've been really, really comfortable. Like most of the time I don't even notice that it's on my wrist. And the watch is light. It looks really bulky, but then it's actually really light. So I really like it. Now let's put it back on. Okay. Another cool feature I really like is that you can set it so whenever your arm is out like this and you tilt this, it'll automatically light up. I like the feature, but I'm not using it because I like to drive with my left hand. So whenever I turn the steering wheel, it'll just light up, and after a while it gets old. So it's a cool feature though. It also has a lot of other features, like it'll keep track of like different time zones, stopwatch, all kinds of bells and whistles. And honestly, I never used it, so I don't know too much about it. I'll save those. You can like, there are all kinds of things written up for it, so you can look those up. For me, it's a watch. It's a functional watch. I can look at it. I can tell the time. And then sometimes I need a stopwatch. I have that. And most importantly, I want a watch that I can just take anywhere. I don't have to worry about taking it off or scratching it up. This watch is fits a bill. It's bulletproof. After the trip, I abused it on the trip, and it still looked pretty much brand new. It's pretty impressive by itself. To sum it up, I think this watch is excellent. I really, really like it, especially for the price point of less than $100. It was 2013 last month, so it was March. I think I found it on eBay for about $85 or $90, and on Amazon slightly more. But yeah, I mean, like for a watch like this that'll last you for so long, I think it's definitely worth it. There's a newer version of the G-Shark Mudman out. It has a lot more bells and whistles. Keep track of like compass and maybe even temperature and stuff. Don't quote me on it. You may do some research. But those are things I don't use, so I don't see the point of going that with the much more expensive version, where this served my purpose quite well. But if you're into gadgets and getting like the latest and the best, then maybe you'll want to look into the newest Mudman as well. And that's pretty much it. To sum it up again, really nice watch, lots of bells and whistles, bulletproof, really comfortable straps. You can comfortably take it anywhere with you without fearing of scratching or damaging it, and it's less than $100. Highly recommend it. The casing of 46mm is intimidating for people with thin wrists like me, but when you actually put it on, it fits well. It's supposed to be bulky, and it's not too bulky. So check it out.